Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Portia O, your host of Lifin podcast, and we're back. Thank you so much for coming back this week to hear the second hour of Nikki's conversation with me about the many ways to do these things, okay? To heal, all right? So I'm so excited for y'all to hear the rest of this really good conversation. Trust me, it is amazing. It's going to help you just as much as it has helped me. Yeah, I just hope that you guys really, if you haven't started your healing journey, that you look into some of these ways, are inspired to start your healing journey in whatever way, shape, form that looks, or evolve in your healing journey, right? Because again, there's more than one way to do a thing, okay? So thank y'all so much again for tuning in. Please enjoy the rest of this conversation. But before you do that, listen to my babies, okay? Bye.
Hey, it's me, Portia, host of Lifin podcast. Podcast. Psych, it's me, Leo. Psych, it's me, Micah O. Please email my mommy or DM her with whatever you want to talk about. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to her YouTube channel. Because life is all. Bye.
And that's the thing too. God is dropping another one in me. Tyler Perry. If you watch Joel Osteen and he invited Tyler Perry on his show, you'll hear Tyler Perry talk about his beginning, how he was homeless for I think 3 to 5 years. He was not necessarily because he had to be. He could have got a job, and he mentions he got a job so many times, but he had to leave every 2 to 3 weeks because during the plays, he had to travel to different states, right? Him and his crew. So, and the jobs didn't like him leaving like that. So they would just fire him, and he did this for years because he had to believe. And in this story, he says how his mom says, I don't know why you just don't go and get this call center job or go get a job with benefits so you can be stable. Because also looking at a mom or a genuine parent's perspective, and I say a genuine parent because people have kids and they don't genuinely want to be parents. But that's a story for another day. And I know from that, God is saying, you got to take care of your kids. Your kids didn't ask to be born. Your kids didn't tell you to have intercourse. So stop making your kids feel bad. Okay, is what I'm hearing. Because God sees and hears all. They are a blessing to you, not the other way around.
Ooh,
Jesus. Okay? You are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to feed them. You are supposed to clothe them. Don't sit up here and make them feel bad. Oh, I put clothes on your back, shoes on. You supposed to. Tyler Perry's mom, she wanted him to be stable. What parent doesn't want their kid to be stable and be healthy and be able to provide for themselves and so on and so forth? That's a genuine parent, right? You want them to be able to get not just what they need. You want them to be able to live, not be in survival mode. They don't have to. Well, in this case, she was tired to see the baby go through it. She was tired of seeing him, go through the wire and not have a place to live of his own and so on and so forth. And she said, why don't you just do this? And he said he started crying and she noticed it. And she told him, I didn't mean to make you cry. And mind you, Tyler Perry said his mother was sweet as pie. So it wasn't like she was trying to purposely talk him out of his purpose. So for some of you guys, you got to watch who you talk to and tell things to. Some of you guys need to move in silence. For some of you guys, not everybody has your best interest at heart. And sometimes that may hurt because sometimes it's the closest people to you. And sometimes even the people that do have your best interest at heart, they may not have went through a healing process where they healed some of the unhealed wounds that they need to in order to give you that sound guidance. So that's why when you receive any type of guidance from anybody, whether it's a life coach, a mentor, your parent, your sister, whatever, you still are supposed to go back at the end of the day, go to God. Okay, what can I take from this? What do I need to leave behind? All the odds was against Tyler Perry, the homelessness and so on and so forth, right? The physical looked like his dream wasn't going to pass. The physical looked like God didn't like him, that God didn't love him, that God wasn't trying to pour into him, right?
Yeah.
So, and So then Tyler Perry says, it's years, it's 2, 3 years later, and him and his team is getting ready to put on for this show, and he's upset, he's angry because he's tired of getting the same outcomes. Like he'll get a few people, but not enough to cover everything. He'll just have enough, and then he has to pay the team, the bus, and everything. He wouldn't have nothing left over. But this time, he said he heard a voice say, "Shut up, look outside." He looked outside and saw a whole lot of people, and ever since then, he's been sold out ever since. And you know where Tyler Perry is now, okay?
Yes.
And it's going to look like God didn't put it on your heart to do, but He did. But that just means you're going to have to sacrifice. What did Jesus have to do? He had to keep going. Yes, He had to sacrifice. He had to keep going. And I'm gonna tell you something too. The archangels, the divine, they with the shit, y'all. I can't lie. They really are. They're funny. They have a great personality.
Yeah.
Okay, and I told them to work on this. I'm like, well, y'all, people think y'all sticklers because you have these book of rules. They don't know what your favorite food is. They don't know what games y'all like to play. They don't know what songs you like to listen to. I mean, y'all, when you watch The Chosen, you'll see Jesus dance. And in there, one of them says, we didn't know that he could dance. Because I'm like, y'all don't talk about these things. They have personalities, y'all. They lit. I'm telling you.
We are created in his likeness and in his image. We don't have these personalities, these sense of humors, these fun-loving ways about ourselves just because that's who we are. It's because that's innate in us. That's how he created us. So how dare we think that if we are creating his likeness and in his image, that he's not the same? That don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. But they want us to believe he's stern, he's this, he don't play, da 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 da. Yes, he has those moments, just like we may as parents. You have to be stern and firm with your children to get them to do and obey and all that type of stuff. But also, there are other sides of you that are soft, loving, fun, all of that.
Yes, absolutely.
All of that. I wanted to ask you another question. One of them is because we spoke about a few ways to heal. Who could benefit from your healed self? Who can benefit from that?
Anyone that basically has a belief in God the Father, creator of heaven and earth. Because without God, you're not going to make it very far. God is the foundation. God is why we're here. So if you don't have some sort of belief in God, you don't have to listen. You can belong to a certain religion or not. It's just you gotta have belief in God as the foundation for any and everything. Okay, add a God if you want to for some time, that's fine. But you gotta have him in your life. Okay, just like a parent, you're gonna get mad at your parents sometimes, right? But that doesn't mean for the ones that have a better connection with their parents, right? Let's not the ones that have a whole lot of trauma or got a parent that doesn't be a parent. But for the ones that do have parents and you get into some sort of conflicts, that don't mean you disloyal to them or whatever. You just had a conflict, right?
Yeah.
And you heal, you patch up, right? Same thing with God, right? God could be your friend, but God is going to be a parent first before, just so you know.
Yeah.
So anybody that has a belief in God the Father, creator of heaven and earth, you want to learn how to gain a stronger connection with God, right? Really strengthen that connection. Those that want to develop their spiritual gifts. So if your clairvoyancy has been on point, you've been seeing silhouettes, or you've been seeing your ancestors, walking around, or you've been hearing your ancestors, or you've been hearing your archangels or your guardian angels, okay, or you're hearing the Holy Spirit, okay, or you're having prophetic dreams where you get the dreams and then it starts playing out over time, like, oh yeah, I dreamt this, okay, and you want to develop them more, okay, this is good. If you want an integrative approach, I take an integrative approach where I utilize modalities such as cognitive behavior therapy, mindfulness based, okay, choice theory, reality-based therapy, attachment styles, okay? And then I integrate that with the usage of tarot cards, okay? And again, we know certain denominations talk about tarot, stuff like that. God doesn't mind. Tarot, again, it's the intention behind it, because it's imagery, right? Like, whether you have the cards or not, if God wants to tell you something, he's going to tell you through the card, or he's going to just drop it in you, okay?
Yeah.
For imagery purposes.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like a person painting a canvas, all right? Knowledge, educate yourselves other than what you were just told. Okay,
Yes.
because people are flawed. Things get misinterpreted. Go find out from
Mhm.
God yourself. But you have to learn how to use your spiritual gifts. So basically, if you want to, we were taught how to use our five senses, like I said at the beginning. So anybody that wants to learn how to use their six senses, supernatural senses, okay? God's way of healing anything with when it comes to your auric body, astral body, help you realize chakras and provide chakra healing. Okay, God can
Mhm.
also provide restoration that you may not be aware of, and or in your unconscious. Okay, any unconscious programming. This is where reparenting, unlearning, unconditioning comes from. So even though I'm a professional counselor, I am a therapist, I am spiritual life coaching. Okay, so
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
feels like therapy because I am a therapist. However, it's not necessarily counseling. Like I won't be diagnosing you. However, again, that integrative approach, we still utilize. So like when it comes to mental health,
Mhm.
you may see a psychiatrist or go to their PCP to get any medication, which that's fine. That's your prerogative. If that's the route that you want to take, that's fine. Well, I have other
Right.
people, including myself, that like to take more of a holistic route. So what I usually tell people to do in a counseling setting and in a coaching setting, depending on the setting that I'm in, I'll tell them, okay, well, if you don't want to go to a psychiatrist, you don't want to, because some people, they don't want to take medication because of the hormones that come with it. And I
Right.
don't blame them, because it does tear your body a lot. Okay, go get all of that. Go have them diagnose you with any medical ailments that you may have, or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
So me being
Mhm.
at a counseling service, I'll diagnose them, or if I'm in a coaching setting, I'll tell the client, no, go get diagnosed. You take that diagnosis to an herbalist, a registered herbalist, or a Chinese medicine practitioner, or a naturopathic doctor, and they'll give you the herbs and or natural equivalent to whatever that medication is that they would have been giving you. Okay, because the goal is to heal, not mask the issue.
Yeah. Yeah. What does life look like in a more healed state of mind? What would life look like for people in a more healed state of mind?
In a more healed state of mind, I would say you will start gaining a higher level of consciousness. Okay.
Mhm.
Like you're able to see different perspectives. And a lot of times people don't realize that the reason why they're not stepping out on faith and doing certain things is because they have a lot of trauma blocking them. So, example, let's say a person wants people faith, start a business. Oh, you ain't, or you will never be anything.
Yeah.
You smart, but you ain't that smart, or ain't nobody an
Right.
entrepreneur in this bloodline. By the way, that's emotional and verbal and mental abuse, y'all. If you getting it, you shouldn't take. For the person that wants to start that business, that person may not start their business because they have all of those negative, name calling and negative programming, as we like to say in spirituality,
Mhm.
background, whether it's in your conscious or your unconscious, right?
Right.
So therefore, it creates fear, the program of fear. It creates the program of, anxiety, and
Mhm.
therefore, those are also blockages.
Yeah.
Those are blockages from people step forward for school, whether that's for a certain relationship, whether that's for, stepping out on faith to do a different religion, whatever the case may be. You'll feel more free. Thank you, Holy Spirit. You'll feel more free.
Mhm.
You'll feel, but also at the same time, I will, I will say a follow up with that too is a little in depression that we will also work on and overcome. And that comes with really seeing how unhealed the world is.
Yep.
So once you start addressing the root cause, it's going to start taking that veil off. It's going to start taking those rose-colored glasses off, and then you really start seeing people for who they are and not for who you want them to be.
Yeah.
And you start to, not just heal, because I always say you can't just address your mind. You can't just address your mental health. You have to address your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, your emotional health, because it's all a cycle. You are what you eat as well. Certain foods contribute to certain ailments as well. You have to address everything. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. That is the definition of insanity. So I always tell clients that in any form, counseling or coaching, you have to have the willingness to change. Otherwise, why are you here?
Why?
And change is definitely not easy. Okay. But also at the same time, if you feel like you're in a circumstance that's horrible, is more negative than good, you're not going to get a result if you don't make some sort of positive change outside of your circumstance.
Right. When should I expect results from my journey? I know you already kind of tapped on it when we recognize, oh, this could have been helping, but a lot of people like to speed through stuff. We are in a microwavable society. We want it instantly. Because I said I started, that means I should already be seeing the results, reaping the things. And, we want to speed through this thing. But actually, the healing journey isn't a quick journey. It's not a quick turnaround. So what would you say from your expertise?
Yes. So there is no time limit.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things you may start to heal first. So like, for example, if you have a communication issue and you have a commitment issue, or you have a spiritual issue, we can work on one issue and it may take you a year to get through that issue, and so you can't put a time frame or a limit to do it because everybody is in different places and spaces. This is why I tell people common sense is not common. And I'll share a story. For example, there's one of the books that I've been reading on my journey where this girl got impregnated 5 times. Her daddy, her biological daddy, her and her God dropped down to me that she was one of the chosen ones there, and so on and so forth to basically uplift that demon about that bloodline. Okay, it goes deeper than that, but that's just as much as I'm going to say with that. Okay, now she could have all type of thoughts. Why, she did not know. She had no idea because they didn't go to regular school, so nobody was able to tell them, hey, that's wrong, right? But also too, she was threatened. Hey, if you do, I'ma get right? So she's growing up thinking that this is okay. She's growing up thinking she doesn't like it, but she's growing up thinking that it's okay, and so on and so forth. And that's all she knew until she got out in like her 22, 23, 24. And then that's when she found out, no, that's abuse. Again, false programming. Because she got out there to the world, right? And she's under a certain impression, right? And the world don't know her abuse.
No.
Okay. Now, in some cases, it doesn't have to be that extreme. You have to be mindful of certain things. And for people that go through heavy trauma, Rome was not built in a day. So it's going to take you some time to heal through those things because you've been operating, thank you, Holy Spirit, you've been operating through those negative seeds that were planted. Okay? Ooh. Because that was all you knew, or that was all they knew, whatever the case may be, right? Not an excuse. However, you are not responsible for the pain that was caused as a child, but you are responsible for your healing as an adult. And so when you become an adult and you have now the means to pay for these services and so on and so forth, right? Or some way get the services or get the help. You're not gonna get all you can. You only gonna get just the science of it. And not the case help. God can help more. The archangels can help more. Your ancestors of love and light can help more. Your guardian angels can help more. You wanna know why? Because they know more about you than you. God know why he created you. God know why you in the stuff that you in. God know your past life histories. God know your spiritual debt you gotta settle. God knows your karmic debt that you have done. And God and your ancestors of love and light, they can channel that information to me and through me. And because I'm a metaphysical practitioner, right? And I'm aware and I have a high level of consciousness. I'm able to articulate this to the clients and able to integrate that with the mental health portion, right? With the modalities, theoretical orientations that I named, and also integrate metaphysical practice of the Holy Spirit. And then we're able to navigate the client to the physical health. Okay, this is what you do with your doctor. It can help you, right? I'm here in the circle of life, the circle of life, addressing every asset. This is why people feel like they're a zombie when they take certain medications by doctors who are atheists. You have to remember, doctors were not trained. Let's be specific. Western medicine doctors were not trained in nutrition. So, with licensures, you have to get your CEUs, right? So one of them I took was for a certified integrative mental health integrative provider, right? And my presenter basically said, there's not any Western medication that a herb or, some type of holistic herb cannot replace, okay? That can have a better effect. Not that you won't have a side effect, because everything impacts people differently, but it can provide healing and restoration. And that way you don't feel like you constantly just going in a loop, right? And some of the things that you're going through is due to a spiritual debt. So, for example, that my therapist wouldn't have been able to help me with because she's not into that. I've started to have a pain in my leg, and I'm like, God, I don't get pain in my leg. So I have my Akashic record appointment. Akashic records is all knowing. It's every thought, every feeling that you've ever had. Okay, it has your past pressure information. So I went and I found out that the reason why I was having a pain in my right leg, which that's your masculine side. Okay, we all have masculine and feminine energies. All right, not being gender specific, but we do, and it should be balanced.
Right.
All right. And so, with that being said, I found out that in one of my past lives, well, not just that, the masculine side. So anybody that has been more in their masculine energy, which would have been my father's side of the family, they all went off their path. So, like, for example, my father had the desire to be a dietitian. He has a lot of gifts to be an artist and all the rest of this, but he didn't use any of them because he has a whole lot of trauma from his childhood. And I don't want to put his business out there, but it really hurts when I see both of my parents, like, they pursued, and don't get me wrong, but it's like they followed the chain to the rhythm versus taking a leap of faith and doing what God put in their heart to do, right? Like my mom, she's always caring about what somebody else thinks, and God don't want you to care what somebody else thinks, but He's telling you to do something. But He also knows we have this humanistic experience. But my father's side of the family in specific, they didn't follow their path. And so my leg started to hurt and my right leg in specific started to hurt because of that, right? They all went off their path. Nobody followed the path except me in this bloodline. That's why I'm so much rap. But that's okay, because God is great. And God is great. Okay. And this is why it gets hard, because sometimes even your family members, they may not understand why you're doing something. So you have to depend on God. When you turn on God, that means you just got to depend even more.
Yeah.
And yes, you can be mad. Yes, you can shout. Just don't be disloyal. Okay. But anyway, because people, you'll go through stuff and you think God, and don't get me give up several times, but God has been faithful. God has been good. Basically, I say that to say that once I got that energy cleared, my practitioner, she did her thing. The archangels basically, they sent some healing energy to my parallel life that's going on, because that's where it was coming from too. And then once all of that was cleared out, and I had certain portals in my unconscious closed and so on and so forth, my leg pain was cleared up in 2 weeks. Mind you, I didn't have to take a medication or nothing. God's energy and that clearing was the medication. And for some of you guys, you have certain ailments where it's a spiritual debt related, not necessarily where it's a spiritual debt related, where you need a Reiki session and or Akashic record clearing, and not necessarily a physical medication.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that because You were only taught to stay in the confinements of your denomination.
Yep. And lean and depend and trust on them, not God.
Listen,
Just them. That all led me to my next question, Nikki. Where do you go get help to jumpstart your healing? And I heard you say multiple times throughout your own journey, as far as your educational journey, you are very accomplished on your own, but you're not going to just seek this knowledge from other people. You're also a willing participant in it from other people. So, and you're out here helping people such as me, coming to you for the services that you're also getting services from people yourself. So, where would you recommend people go to jumpstart their healing journey?
well, it depends. So it also depends on what you're looking for, guys. Okay. So if you want a counselor, like a therapist, you want to get a diagnosis, you want an assessment. Okay. Not that you can't get an assessment for coaching, but it's the type of assessment, right? So
Right.
that's going to be mental health services where, and I mean, you can go to psychology today, good therapy, and try to see, what therapist, because that's the thing, Portia mentioned at the very beginning, you do have to vet your therapist. You have to vet your therapist. And even if you don't want a therapist, you want a life coach or a mentor, you have to vet them. Why? Because not every practitioner, and this goes outside of this, right? Your chiropractor, your PCP, you got to vet them because not every practitioner is for you, and vice versa, right? Just like all money isn't good money. All company
Mhm.
isn't good company, right?
Yep.
Just like you're getting ready to you trying to see somebody can make a good partner for you as a significant other.
Yeah.
You go on dates with different people, right?
Mhm.
So that's the same concept you have to apply for your therapist or your life coach or your mentor. Okay.
Yeah.
So I usually suggest, spend 2 to 3 sessions with them to see how you feel, to see, if there's a connection or a bond, because, you are telling your business to a stranger essentially, but also at
Yeah.
the same time, you have to feel comfortable because the thing that I like to say too is that annoys me as a practitioner cannot help you with anything that you do not tell them. Okay, so they cannot help you with anything that they don't know. They can't refer you, they can't provide any suggestions, they can't change up your treatment plan, they can't, recommend anything to you if you sit it. Because I've known people to just sit there and they purposely will not say anything. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, had I known that, I could have said this. We could have done that, you know.
Yep.
So, and I would say, until you're ready. So make sure you're ready to put in the work and that you have the willingness. Okay. Please do not waste your practitioner's time. All right. We take baby steps. We take baby steps. And that's the thing, too. You have to kind of also have an idea of what you want within your practitioner as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want a bubbly and lively type of a practitioner?
Mm-hmm.
Want a spiritual practitioner. So, like, in counseling, I was I am that spiritual slash, you know, so because I specialize in spirituality, but I also specialize in trauma as well, because that's very heavy. A lot of people's issues stem from trauma.
Yeah.
Get down to the nitty gritty with that. But again, if you want mental health services, you can go to psychology today. You can go to goodtherapy.com and you can look and
Mm-hmm.
see, okay, you can go through their filters and click what it is,
Yep.
and so on and so forth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see if someone directly takes your insurance, what I like to tell clients to do is contact your insurance company directly and ask for a directory of counseling services, or services period that takes them.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah.
be able to provide you with different providers that take their insurance. And if you want coaching, you can feel free. If you want to come to me, you can. You can feel free to email me. All right. I do have a website, DonJuanSpiritualGuidance.com. You can feel free to do that. Also, if you want to check out a YouTube platform, I do collective readings for the collective. Okay. They are timeless. Don Juan Spiritual Guidance. You can also check us out on Facebook as well. There's different content posted on both platforms. All right. Same name, Don Juan Spiritual Guidance. Same name. I have 2 TikTok accounts, Don Juan Spiritual Guidance. You can check that out. Okay. If you want to get a personal reading done, you can feel free to do so to book, and it will all be remote. Okay. All of my services are remote.
Yeah.
They're all video. So just like you're watching this video, this is exactly how we will be. Okay.
Yeah.
You will get a link. If you book a personal reading, you'll get the reading is uploaded to YouTube via a unlisted YouTube link. So the only way somebody else will watch it is if you send the link to somebody else. Okay.
Right.
So that, and then if you want coaching, my coaching program is called Kicking It with Life. So when you go on the website, you can click Kicking It with Life, and it'll show you everything. It'll show you pricing. Okay. If you see anything on my bookings, email me directly, questions and or concerns. But if you don't want me, you don't have to. There's other coaches. You can go to Thumbtack. All right. You can go to Bark. All right. And look at different providers. But when you are looking for a provider, just be mindful, because just like the Holy Spirit said, there are wolves in sheep's clothing. I know a practitioner now where I know what they do behind closed doors and how they present themselves to their clients. And it is nothing like if their clients knew. But anyway, so be mindful of who you watch and be mindful of who you pick. Okay.
Yes, be big on that energy. Okay. If it don't feel right, if it ain't your jam, don't do it. It's okay to gracefully bow out. All right. And go find someone else. Just like we do in dating. Go find someone else.
Period.
Another question, Nikki. Why do you think people have trouble receiving their healing?
Because they're too busy worried about what other people think. And you know, they don't want to put in the work.
That's hard.
They too worried about, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to come off cold and callous, okay, Capricorn. However, because that's not the case with everybody, with most people. Well, what are my family members gonna think? I don't want them to think I'm crazy. I don't want them, you know, to think, oh, I'm getting mental health services, or I'm going to see a coach. I need help. And that's the problem with the world today.
Right. Whose business is that?
I had to learn too, y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
On my own journey. Okay. With my therapist. You know. Okay. I've been the client too. All right. Okay. I am always in the teacher-student position. I will never not be in the teacher-student position. Okay. There's infinite knowledge. There's infinite knowledge. Don't ever put yourself in a position to be closed off to it. You will never know it all.
Never.
Okay? And so with that being said, you know, it's too much. And I used to have the saying, you know, well, what if they think I'm crazy because I need help or I need assistance? Child, but nobody says this with people that got diabetes or cancer. So why is it socially acceptable to go around and say, oh, well, I'm going to the doctor to get help with this, that, and the third. But then you have something going on like stress, you know, sadness, you know, and so on and so forth. You know, people want to, you know, get scared, and it's understandable because, again, the stigma that has been attached to it.
Right.
But at the same time, shoot, you can help me get rid of this, help me get over this. Shoot, and that's the problem today, because it's a catch-22. It's a double standard. I don't like that, because people always want to say, come to me, talk to me. You know, why didn't they say anything? You know, the people who may have suicidal thoughts, or may have they don't have to be suicidal, but you know, those difficult thoughts that can lead to a depression, that can lead towards a outburst, that can lead towards an episode.
Yeah.
That's very serious, right? But instead of uplifting the person and giving help, people want to make fun. People want to call them crazy. But then when they die, people want to say, well, why didn't they ask for help? Being wrong. Come on. We have to We have to create a safe and sacred space
And
for
stay
us as a community and individually. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. And I had to learn that too. Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the karmic debts that followed over with me. I had to learn to ask for help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. And so that's another thing too that stops people from receiving healing. They feel like they don't need help. They feel like, or they were raised in an environment where when they did ask for help, they were shunned.
Right. Right.
And
Or I've made it this far, thus far, and I'm okay.
yeah, and
You're not.
that strong black woman complex. You
Yeah.
don't no reward, no except stress, trauma, and for being. And don't get me wrong, yes, being strong, having that strength, awesome. But baby, you don't get no prize when you don't have no assistance. We supposed to connect, but you got to be mindful who you connect with. That is a thing.
Yes.
Yes, I feel like people are not receptive of the healing because of the false beliefs and constructs that just need to be just dismantled.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, and that's
Yes.
why you have to be willing to push and bulldoze your way through those people that want you to conform, or they're gonna look at you a certain type of way. And if they're gonna look at you a certain type of way, if you don't conform, then that's God showing you that they not for you, and that may hurt.
That part.
That may hurt, but when God is elevating you, He gonna show you who's for you and who's not for you.
Right.
When you
And
try,
your
when you
enemy.
try to step out of
Mm.
the hood, or you try to step out of those confined conditions that they was trying to keep you in,
Yep.
hey, that's when you gonna really see those colors. That's when you go, because you're not conforming, you're not
Yeah.
abiding, right? You're doing what God is telling you to do, and that looks different than what your family and friends is telling you to do. But they didn't know, they did not ordain your life. God did. They
God.
don't know. Just like college, right? Everybody doesn't have the same major. You may have some electives you have with your classmate, your friends, right? But then as you
Mhm.
get closer, like your junior, senior year, you're taking your major classes. You may not see your friends, so you on that stage, graduation day, right? So same way, everybody has a different purpose, some similar, a lot different. And what you need to go through to get to your ordained purpose may look different than your best friend
Yep.
or your partner. Or you might be ascending more because you put in that work and your partner isn't, or they never did, or your friend never did. And now, because you've been healing, now you can see that your friend was a snake the whole time. Because you've been healing, now you can see how bad your parents been gaslighting you. Or now that you healing, you can see certain things that you couldn't see before. Why? Because that veil has been lifted.
Yep. 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 Whew. Okay, this is the last question, Nikki. How often do people practice the skills to become healed? How often do you suggest people will practice these skills to help them on their healing journey?
Daily. Daily. And that's not every skill. I'm saying daily. So
Right.
so let me explain. So when you are going through this process, whether therapy or coaching or whatever the case, mentor, whatever you choose, whatever
Mhm.
healer, okay, you know, it's kind of like when you are going through your healing and you are unlearning, you're reconditioning, right? That shadow work that I was talking about. You're reparenting yourself.
Mhm.
So, it's ingrained in you. And you know how we talk about how habits are easy to form, hard to break.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've been throwing this around typically 21 days, three to 4 weeks to break or form a habit, whether that habit is good or bad.
Yep.
So same difference. You've been rating through those negative things for so long, it's become a part of you.
Yeah.
When you're on a healing journey, you have to uproot those negative seeds that were planted now. And
Mhm.
now plant those better seeds, right? And the only way for you to get those better seeds acclimated to you is by you operating through them now.
Yeah.
So that they can become your new usual, or your new
More.
I don't like to say it normal, because everybody doesn't
Okay.
be your new, no, your new way of living, your new way of operating. So
Yeah.
you see those people, right, that certain, like, make different people who bring them onto their show. Like, I know Jennifer Hudson has a show now, or Tamara and things of that nature. When they bring certain people on their show, um they'll show you, oh, they went to jail, they went to prison, they had a hard life on all type of drugs, and or prostitution, whatever the case may be. And then they'll start telling you, like, how they got out of that, how God got them out, and their story, what they had to go through, right, in order for them to stop operating out of that light, so they can start operating in that new light.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like working out, right? And it's not just about working out. Like, you do, that is a part of it, but it's like you have to change your lifestyle. You can't just go on a diet. Otherwise, after that 3-month mark, if you go back to doing the same thing you do, you want to go back to that same unwanted maladaptive pattern that
Yeah.
hard to get rid of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically your new way of living. It's your new lifestyle. You have to change your whole lifestyle and operate through that now to keep and maintain what it is that you are doing. So the same thing for healing too. You know, once you have to start. It's kind of like learning how to walk all over again. You're crawling, right? So, like, let's say a person was raised in nothing but hate. All they saw was physical and sexual and verbal abuse, like, so then they operate because they think that's love, right? They
Yeah.
think that's love, when that's not love. By the way, that's conditioned love, and that's Lucifer, and that's not love that you want. Okay. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, then you gotta take that person, and they could be treating other people that way, right? So because they grew up in that way, so now they operate, they calling other people out their names. They think it's normal. They, putting their hands on other people because their hands was getting put on them, right?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make it right. But this is, say that to say certain things that have to be unlearned.
Yes.
People who grow up in those type of environments, if that's all they've seen, then they think that that's
That's
love.
what
They're
they're
gonna,
gonna do.
yeah, and they're gonna think that that's okay.
Yep.
I've had friends, until they saw something different, they thought that abuse was love, or they thought that abuse was the usual, and it's like, no, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so basically, it's just like, making sure you operate from those healed wounds, well, not wounds, but those healed seeds, so that
Yeah.
you're not operating from those black seeds that you do work so hard to uproot.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's all about, training, kind of like riding a bike. You got to be consistent. You got those training,
Mm-hmm.
and then once you acclimated to the training wheel, take them off, right? So
Yes.
same thing. You have to unlearn, reparent, uncondition, and then plant those new seeds and operate from them. But because those new seeds was not your normal, you have to make it your new normal. And
Yeah.
you do that by implementing them daily.
That
Whether
part.
it's one skill you're implementing daily to get acclimated, or several of them. It depends on the person and what they can handle.
Oh my gosh, this has been so much. I am so, so grateful for all of this information that you have imparted here. Nikki, man, I hope that y'all really, really were taking notes, listening, and y'all were really open to receive um, the many ways there are to heal. And if you don't have somebody already, that you will go seek somebody. Nikki is available. If this isn't for you, you can find other people, right? If you would prefer in person or online, whatever, just go figure it out. Start your journey if you haven't started, or be more serious about your journey. Thank you again so much, Nikki. Before we get out of here, I wanted to do my last segment, which is Speak Life. Okay. This is the segment where I leave you with a call to action for yourself, but not just for you, but for me as well. So I'll leave you with these words to hold on to until next time. Today's Speak Life affirmation is I am a priority in my life. Therefore, my healing is essential in all aspects. Okay. Again, today's Speak Life affirmation is I am a priority in my life. Therefore, my healing is essential in all aspects. You heard it, you say it, you write it down, and remind yourself to speak that thing and make it happen because, like we like in the song, thank you again, Nikki, Don, Juan, my spiritual life coach, therapist, my all around everything. One day I'm going to be able to embrace you in person. But for right now, air hugs and all the love. Thank you for sharing your gifts and your knowledge and your wisdom. Thank you for being a vessel and allowing God to use you. I am so grateful to have you a part of my life. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And thank you guys for watching.
Yes, yes. Thank y'all. Until next time. See you later.